Good day, everybody. This is Michael Davidis from JewishQ.com, and I welcome back Yakov Spektor, a very, very knowledgeable and seasoned immigration attorney. Welcome back to our podcast, Yakov.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Thanks for your time. Yakov, we're going to talk about today some newsworthy events that happened in the past few weeks that could affect a lot of immigrants and immigrants. Let's start off with the first one in this session. The big news is Title 42. A lot of people are searching online. What is Title 42? Why some states were trying to abolish it? Why Supreme Court upheld it? And what are the implications? So let's start with the basics. Yakov, can you explain for our audience, please? What is Title 42? Who was it created by and for what purpose?
Okay, I'll start. I'm going to have to start a little bit, I guess, further out, okay?
Yes.
Because, just explaining what Title 42 is, that's going to be boring for me, for you, and for everyone who is listening.
What a one.
Because, what's another, federal program? What's another, number? Or a few letters, right? They mean absolutely nothing. But all of a sudden, they start meaning something for essentially millions of people who try to come into this country through the southern border, okay? And for all those people living in border towns, border cities, all those locations that see an influx of immigrants, okay? So for those people, this meaningless mumbo jumbo, Title 42, all of a sudden becomes very, very important. Now, is it going to be important for our listeners? That's going to be for our listeners to decide. But if any one of you guys have relatives who might be planning to seek asylum at the border, okay, and there are a lot of Russian citizens who are now trying to escape the brutal government in Russia. If any one of you have relatives from Central American countries who are trying to escape gang violence, okay, you might want to pay attention. This might be important, okay? And the reason why this is important is that since the pandemic started, the government was keeping people out of the United States pretty much due to a very thinly veiled pretext of those people presenting a danger, oh my God, how do you even say that? Epidemiological danger. So essentially they were saying, hey, you know what? They're trying to bring in this novel coronavirus.
Right.
Title 42 is the special set of regulations that allows us to keep anyone who is a danger for medical reasons.
And was this expanded during pandemic by President Trump, who was the president at the time? Is that what happened?
It was, yes. And if the first couple of months, this was new. We were trying to actually deal with this virus the best we could. So we were giving Trump enough latitude to try these things, okay? Because hey, you know what? If he's actually trying to keep us safer, from a new disease, okay, fine. You know what? Let him do so. But as you might remember, we were the leader in COVID infections. Essentially trying to keep people out by saying that, hey, you know what, we are going to get more COVID in a place that's already a world leader in COVID infections. Seemed a little bit far-fetched. So everybody very quickly realized that, hey, you know what, this is just a way to keep immigrants out.
Wow. Yep.
Now, and then an interesting thing happened. So once Biden won, okay, Biden promised that he's going to put an end to Title 42 because he was saying, hey, you know what, whatever you might think about keeping immigrants in or out, we shouldn't be the ones who, basically employ fake reasoning,
Right.
okay, to accomplish a set of goals. Okay, everybody sees that this is not actually why we do that. We just don't want to have immigrants in here. So the Biden administration very quickly moved forward to end the program. Okay, but
They succeed.
I'm sorry.
Did they succeed?
Did they succeed? Yeah. I'm not going to give anything away just yet, but when they tried to do this, the Texas, Arizona, and other border states, they very quickly, okay, they said, hey, you know what? You should come down here and you should see what's going on in our border towns. Okay, there's literally tens of thousands of people going through these towns every day. It wreaks havoc, significant havoc in lives of U.S. citizens. Okay, they cannot go about living their lives, and you, the federal government, aren't doing anything to really to help us. So why don't you keep that program in place? Because even though, yes, everybody knows that it's not because of COVID that we are excluding these people, but we are excluding them nonetheless, and it makes our lives a lot easier. And just to give you an idea how many people how many people are excluded under Title 42, it's about 1 million people a year.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, people who otherwise might have been here. Now, these people, they're coming here and they're seeking asylum at the border. They're saying, hey, you know what? It's not safe for us to go back. We'll be killed. Okay, now a lot of them might, maybe they're not being 100% honest, right? Maybe they're just coming here for a better life, which is also a good enough reason. But a lot of them actually do. They flee gang violence. Russians flee the murderous Putin regime, who will otherwise send them, to fight war in Ukraine. All kinds of people who actually have a very legitimate reason to seek admission in the United States, and we are supposed to at least hear their claims, okay, and sending them back to their country of origin or even to Mexico when they basically, they might fall prey to all sorts of insidious elements, gangs, people who might take advantage of immigrants, is inhumane to say the least. Okay. But then on the other hand, you have these states who are, who are very concerned. And so what the states did, they went to court, because this is what we do in America. We go to court.
Supreme Court, right? Supreme Court?
Well, not right away, because in order to get to the Supreme Court, you have to climb the court ladder.
Okay.
And courts very quickly, okay, they sided with the government mostly, okay, because they said, hey, it's true. It has nothing to do with COVID. So whatever, you want to keep people away, pass a law that would allow you to keep people away. Get more border officers there to exclude people, but don't give us this bullshit that we are going to essentially keep our country safe from COVID. That's ridiculous. And the program was set to expire, which is exactly what the Biden administration wanted. But at the last moment, the Supreme Court swooped in, okay, and they have a right to do that if it presents a very substantial interest, and it might, not doing so might actually result in a lot of irreparable harm. Okay, and they were like, hey, you know what? Let us. We're not saying yes or no. We're not making a final decision yet. But for now, we are going to keep the program in place. Okay, just because if it does end right now, yes, it will result in 100,000 people coming in every month. Okay, and that's going to be very, very harmful, because there's no infrastructure. There's nothing that would allow us to incorporate that that many people. So there's an interesting twist there, because the Supreme Court actually is not really deciding whether that program is good or that program is bad, or whether it should stay or it should go. The only thing that the Supreme Court will be deciding if the states actually have a right to even challenge it, because the government is saying, the federal government is saying, hey, it's not up to the states. Immigration or border security is only up to us. Okay, states don't even have the right to really, to ask us to keep this program in place or not. It's not up to them, and
So
that's what the
Yakov,
Supreme Court is deciding, whether the states have even the right to challenge the program.
but right now, the way it stands, the program is still in effect. Still, people cannot stay in US for too long because the local governments are using epidemic as an excuse to not let them stay in US, correct? Where do you see it going in the future? How much longer would this program stay in effect? Because it looks like it's affecting, like you said, millions of people.
The federal government is basically wants to get rid of it. The problem is that the federal government is not doing anything to really to address what's going to happen to those people, or to address immigration altogether. Okay,
Mhm.
a lot of people are saying that the immigration system in this country is broken, and I tend to agree.
It definitely is. And every time a president promises to fix it, we see that status quo remains. And it's a very hot potato issue. I think that no president, no Congress really wants to touch, and it still is, like you said, broken and dysfunctional. And it is
I agree
very
completely.
easy to get lost in this nightmare of a system, a bureaucratic mess. People could be they can find themselves in detention centers. Some people may come to America for freedom. I read an article recently, a very interesting article, perspective of people fleeing Russia, as he described. They're thinking they're going to come to America, the land of the free, and what happens? They end up in detention centers. So they think to themselves, wait a second, I was escaping Russian prisons, but now I'm in a US prison, and prison is a prison. Okay, we can argue which prison is better, but it's still prison. So it's a very interesting paradox, and I'm really hoping the system is going to fix, but for now it is broken. For now, you definitely need an attorney to help you navigate it, and this is why we present you Yakov Spektor, who not only educates us on what's going on with immigration law, what are the updates, latest developments, how it could affect you, but also Yakov is actually available for legal consultations on where you stand, how you can protect your rights, how you can possibly take avail of US immigration courts, and so on. So we encourage you, if you have specific issues, specific questions on your status here in US, you need help, contact Yakov Spektor. The phone number is in the bottom of the screen. Yakov, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we're going to bring you back very shortly, because there's another interesting development in arena of immigration law, and that has to do with United for Ukraine. It's a novel program that was created for Ukrainian refugees, but you told me off camera, Yakov, that now this program is getting expanded for other refugees from other countries such as Cuba, Nicaragua, Haiti, and I cannot wait to hear from you in our next session. What are the new programs available for refugees coming out of these countries? See you soon. Thank you.
Stay tuned.
Thank you.